B'Shem Hashem na'aseh v'nasliach. So, we are doing Halachot of Asher Yatzar. We just began the Halachot of Asher Yatzar right before Pesach. So, we'll continue, but just a little refresher, if you will, of the last halakha that we learned was about the importance of saying Asher Yatzar every time we use the restroom. Right? How we're basically thanking Hashem for this chokhmah, for this wisdom of how the body is so filled with arteries and veins and pipelines, and everything knows somehow, quote unquote, naturally to work with each other, to close, open when it's supposed to close when it's supposed to open. All of it works simultaneously. And in the bracha we say, She'im yisatem echad mehem. If one of them closes when it's supposed to be open, it's impossible for a person to live. You can't live. One of these open holes closes, or one of the closed holes opens, chas v'shalom, that's detrimental to the body. And we also say Asher Yatzar, the chokhmah behind it is what we don't recognize. The biggest chokhmah is what we're so used to and we don't realize. And that is, we have two parts to our build-up. We have our physical body and we have our spiritual body, the neshama. These two are complete opposites. They don't go with each other. They're not supposed to go with each other. They repel from each other. It's like, two sides of the same side of the magnet. They don't go together. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in His wisdom, has built this magnificent piece of machinery that has all these parts working clockwise, constantly doing what? Keeping the neshama in. That's what the body does. Right? That's why chas v'shalom, lo alenu bar minan. When one of the main parts of the body malfunctions or stops working, that's when the neshama leaves. Because there's nothing really keeping it inside the body anymore. But we're saying, it is known, lifnei kisech avodecha, it is known before your throne, how wonderful, and how we realize basically how wonderful this piece of art is. Right? Every day you have to understand, we have this other part to us too, the neshama. If you will think of it like this. An astronaut goes out into outer space. There's no oxygen in outer space. How does an astronaut breathe in outer space?
Oxygen tank.
Oxygen tank. They have to wear a what?
Tank. Oxygen
tank. They have to wear a tank. I love how you said that. They have to wear a what? A tank. A what? A suit. They have to wear an entire suit. I don't think they just go like... Okay. No, okay. It's a whole suit. It's a whole attire, right?
They have appliances a suit.
So in outer space, it's not where human beings live. There is no oxygen. Therefore, we need a special suit to be able to survive on the moon. So too, Earth is not where neshamot live. This is not its habitat. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes a suit for the neshama called the human body. This is how the neshama survives on earth. With this suit. This is the suit. It's only a suit. That's why after 120 years, when a person passes away, right? What do Chachamim say? What do we say? This is not the end. It's just, why does Chas v'Shalom, someone that just lost somebody, what do?
Mourn.
They mourn, they say Kaddish, but what do they do at the gravesite? They cut their clothes. They rip a part of their clothing. What does that symbolize? It's supposed to give them comfort. Why? Because it shows that that's just the suit. It's just the clothing that just got destroyed or is no longer in existence. The neshama is forever. So that person's not really dead. It's a change of clothes. Right? Clothing gets ripped. And you change your clothes. And that's why we do that. So that's why it's so important. Brikat Asher Yatzar is so important. And it's very interesting how important it is and what it's really talking about. Because you might have thought, like, come on, You go to the bathroom. And you come out and you make a blessing after the bathroom, so detailed about pipelines and outer holes, inner holes, and open holes and closed holes. Yeah. And as we said before, Chachamim also say that's why they put the words Lifnei Kiseh Chevodecha, before your heavenly and honorable throne. Why do we say that in this bracha and no other brachot? Because Adarabah, we want to go against those thinkers that think, oh, Hashem doesn't involve himself in our minute and small daily routine things. We want to say, no, Hashem actually is very involved in everything we do. Every bodily function, everything we do in our lives, Hashem is very involved. So much so that it's close to his what? Kiseh Kvodo. Close to his throne. That's a very, very strong statement. This really would help us to really say Asher Yatzar with Kavanah. Especially when someone, God forbid, Chas v'shalom, experiences some difficulties for a while, and then afterwards, when the person has refuah shalema, the Asher Yatzar. The Asher Yatzar is whoo, because you really realize how much your body is dependent on the miracles of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mamash, 1,000% dependent on Hashem's miracles. 1,000%. Right? A body could, before a person knows it, the smallest little thing goes wrong. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So now, that's the bracha Asher Yatzar. Kvar nitbar le'el, we already said before that when we come out of the bathroom, there's no need for a Netilat cup to do Netilat Yadayim after the restroom. Right? However, we have the minhag that we always use the Netilat cup. Because this way, according to everybody, we're okay. Right? So if you have a Netilat cup, always use a Netilat cup. Especially if you touched somewhere of your body that's unclean.
Is that for spiritual reasons or for sanitary reasons?
Spiritual reasons. But Netilah is always for spiritual reasons, right? But what I'm saying is, anybody that goes to the bathroom definitely washes with soap. This does not take the place of washing with soap. All right?
Can you do that though? Can you wash your hands with soap and then do Netilah?
Absolutely.
You
should be
dry.
Yes, your hands should
so
be
you
dry.
Wash your hands with soap. You dry your hands and then you do.
So now, if you have a Netilah cup outside, after the bathroom, then use the Netilah cup, right? But if you don't, when you wash your hands under the bed, under the sink, right? You wash it 6 times, right? And then use soap and clean your hands.
This is considered Netilah?
Yes. So what we're saying again is that the only things that we are required really to have a Netilah cup is when we wake up in the morning and we do Netilah for bread. Other than that, other than the bread and waking up in the morning, we're not really required to have a Netilah cup. However, it's very good to do it with a Netilah cup always to be safe, right? But you're not required to. If you do it 6 times like this and then wash your hands with soap, you're done.
So you don't need to even dry your hands. You just
no, yeah, just yeah.
So you do the Netilah, then you wash your hands?
Either or, whichever way you want.
But
if you want to do Netilah with a cup, your hands.
You should wash your hands first.
Wash your hands, dry it, and then get a cup, and then do it, and then dry.
Right. So I'm saying, since for this Netilah you don't really need a cup, you're not chayav, you're not obligated to use a cup. Then either or would be
You can't kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Put the soap and then do Netilah with the cup.
You do Netilah.
No. Do Netilah with a cup, and then right after you did Netilah with a cup, you wash your hands with soap. Get it? That's what I do. I do Netilah with a cup and then wash my hands with soap. What are they? Do you know? Even women are obligated to make the bracha of Asher Yatzar, because this bracha was instituted by the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, the great men of the Great Assembly. Those of you that have kids already, those of you that are going to have kids, you have to teach your children to learn to say Asher Yatzar. Always from a very, very young age, they should learn that it's a bracha that we make on a daily basis. I learned from my Rabbanim, that your kids learn brachot in school, Baruch Ata Amon, right? But however, when they watch parents doing a bracha, is much more powerful than just learning the brachot with a song, right? And they don't need parents to do a bracha with a song. When they see a parent really standing there with kavanah and making a bracha correctly, that has a much more bigger effect than having their morah or morot doing, Baruch Ata. You understand? So it's always important to teach kids by having them watch you doing barachot correctly. Very important. And these things start, by the way, teaching kids to do things starts when?
The moment they're born. Before they're born.
Before they're born. Exactly. When the baby is in the mother's womb, that's when your responsibilities of chinuch start. So teaching your kids, right?
After 24 weeks.
No, you got to start like that. Once that neshama is in there, that's where your job starts. Saying modani to it every morning, saying Torah tzivalanu to it. The baby in a mother's womb hears, feels, understands everything. Everything has an effect, right? So they should always be in an atmosphere. Even today, they say when you're pregnant, put on Mozart and hymn. we put on shiurim, put on lectures of chachamim speaking in any language. Any language, you might not understand it. Put on a shiur bar Chacham Ovadia Yosef. Let the baby hear Rav Ovadia giving a shiur on Halachot Shabbat. What do you care? Right? But what it does is it really, that the child will have a chinuch very, very early on.
So you're saying we shouldn't put Mozart?
I'm not saying you shouldn't put Mozart. I'm going to tell your wife, Rabbi said Mozart is Asur.
What? It's the devil.
I said it's not. I said I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not either. I'm just not saying anything. I'm just saying instead of Mozart, if it doesn't make a difference, your wife put shiurim once in a while. It's good. I don't want to cause any fights. But the rabbi said Mozart is the devil's music.
Did you do it? With any of your children?
Do what? My wife did it all the time.
Oh yeah?
All the time.
With all your children?
Yeah, always. It was
It would have been cool to see if you did it with one, not the other.
I love how when you talk, things come out of your mouth.
I didn't expect
How setz rachav? This shiur should be in the Rafah Shalamav. Kol Cholam Israel, Am Israel, and also especially for those that were hurt in the recent attack in the Chabad of near San Diego. Everywhere, Hashem should Hashem should protect all of Am Israel. Zchut Torah. When a person goes to the restroom, uses the restroom, whether number 1 or number 2, and you forgot right away to make a bracha Asher Yatzar. I always say, this is what I always tell myself. You come out of the restroom, do it now. Okay? It quite often happens when you don't do it right away, at least this happens to me, forgetting. Literally 5 minutes later, I go, did I do it? Did I not do it? Because you're so used to doing it after the bathroom, then your mind starts playing games with you. Okay? Then you start begging your family members, your kids, like, did you hear Abba say Asher Yatzar? They're going to think you're crazy. Like, how's this guy making brachot if he doesn't even know if he made brachot? Right? Which happens, unfortunately. So, best way is to always read it out. I had little cards that were in my pocket, that I gave all of them out, Baruch Hashem. Little cards that have Asher Yatzar. You carry those with you so that when you come out right away, you read it from the card, you won't forget that you did that because it's visual.
It's on your phone too.
It's on your phone or next to your restroom, you have, those big cards that you can put on the wall. When you come out, to do it from inside. When you do it from inside, believe me, You're not going to forget if you did it or not. That's not going to happen. Yeah.
What if you take a shower right after?
Okay, so when
you
you come
have
out,
time.
you do Netilah.
So you have right. That's like
Fine. So it's going to say,
30
Im
minutes.
nizkar toch shiur parsa, if you remembered, you didn't, let's say you didn't do Asher Yatzar, you didn't do it.
yeah.
Right? You took a shower, then you had a cold beer there, you came out, and it was 72 minutes later. Okay? If 72 minutes have passed, then you're not allowed to make Asher Yatzar anymore. 72 minutes. After 72 minutes, which is an hour and 12 minutes, you do not make Asher Yatzar anymore. And if you hear someone making Asher Yatzar after 72 minutes, you don't answer Amen. or you call Ariel to hit him. One of the two. So we don't make Asher Yatzar unless we're within 72 minutes. ואם נתערר שוב לנקבה בתוך שיעור הנ"ל, לא יברך אשר יצר עד לאחר שיסיים רגליו. Let's say you're within those 72 minutes, and all of a sudden you have to go again. You didn't make Asher Yatzar yet. Now you have to go again. Don't make a Asher Yatzar and then go and then come back and do make another Asher Yatzar. If all of a sudden you need to go again, let's say half an hour passes. You haven't made Asher Yatzar. You need to go again. And you remember, I didn't make Asher Yatzar for the first time I went. Don't make Asher Yatzar now. Go to the bathroom, come back, make Asher Yatzar for both. Right? That's how we do it.
What if you...
Orale?
Asher Yatzar is for every bathroom visit or every time you go to the bathroom?
Every time you
Use the
use the restroom. Meaning number 1 or number 2.
What if you go in the bathroom but you don't end up using it?
Okay, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Okay.
Sometimes you go in for number 1. Excuse me, I'm getting vulgar, but
It's
then
okay.
You and then you go and you're like, okay, wait, I have number 2 too.
Asher Yatzar, both.
For 2 of them or 1?
Yeah, just one bracha for both.
Got it.
Anytime you use the restroom, both or 1 or number 2, you use it. Let's say you need to go to the bathroom. No, you went to the bathroom, and now you want to make Asher Yatzar, and you're thinking, if I make Asher Yatzar right now, I'm going to lose praying with a minyan. Let's say you need to go to shul, and it's late, and obviously you can see how we're supposed to say Asher Yatzar from this halakha, right? It's not the way we make Asher Yatzar. It's actually talking the real way of doing it with kavanah. So that's why he's saying, you know that if you start Asher Yatzar, you're going to lose praying with a minyan because they're going to make Baruch Hu and you're going to miss it. What do you do? If you leave Asher Yatzar till after Tefillah, you might forget. You might not remember to make Asher Yatzar. Therefore, make Asher Yatzar right now, and then run as fast as you can to make Tefillah with the tzibur. And if you need to, like let's say it's shacharit in the morning, and if you need to, there are certain things that you could skip to catch up to Baruch Hu and then make up afterwards, which we're going to go on later. We're going to discuss. But if you leave yourself an alarm or something, right? Siri, remind me to make Asher Yatzar in an hour, right? Then you don't have to. Then you can run, do your tefillah because you have a reminder. You make Asher Yatzar. וכן מי שענה בתפילה ערבית ברוך השם המבורך לעולם ועד. Also, let's say you're in תפילת ערבית and they made Baruch. They said Baruch Hashem המבורך, and you said Baruch Hashem המבורך לעולם ועד, right? You make that. Now we don't speak after making Baruch, right? So now you have to make Asher Yatzar. What do? And you need to go to the bathroom. יניח ברכת אשר יצר לאחר ערבית. Then you leave Asher Yatzar until after ערבית. ורק אם חשש, אם יש חשש שישכח מלברך, יברך קודם שהתחיל ברכת אשר בדברו. Only if you know you're going to forget, then right after you make Baruch Hu, make Asher Yatzar, and then Asher bidvaro ma'ariv arabim b'chokhmah p'tiach sharim. You start the bracha of Shema. Am I going too fast?
No.
Am I going too slow?
Slow.
I'm going too slow?
Yeah, we need more halachot.
Okay. Rápido then you say.
ממש rápido.
בברכת אשר יצר, יש הנוהגים לומר אי אפשר בצירי. Okay, so there's two different mouths. There are those that say אי אפשר להתקיים אפילו שעה אחת. There are those that say אי אפשר להתקיים אפילו שעה אחת. Both are correct. Whichever way you've been doing it, you could keep doing it. הרב עובדיה יוסף זכר צדיק וקדוש לברכה used to say אי אפשר להתקיים אפילו שעה אחת. מנהגנו לומר אפילו שעה אחת. Our minhag is to say אפילו שעה אחת. Okay, we don't need to go to that. ראוי ונכון שלא ינגב את ידיו בעת שמברך אשר יצא. Now, some people, you do netilah, right? And during drying your hands, you start making asher yatzar. It's best not to do it that way. First, dry your hands completely, and then make asher yatzar. Right? That's how it...
Why? It can't be wet?
Because, see, when we said before is that the ma'aseh, the doing of netilah, is finished after drying. After drying your hands, you've done the whole mitzvah. Right? If you remember, months ago when we first started the shiur, we said, why is it that we're allowed to first do netilah and then make the bracha? On every mitzvah, we first make the bracha and then we do the mitzvah. You want to eat an apple? You make the bracha, you eat the apple. You understand? Every mitzvah, you have the bracha before you do the actual mitzvah, the action. Netilat Yadayim, you're doing netilah first, and then you're making the bracha. You should say al Netilat Yadayim and then do netilah. So the Chachamim say no, because netilah is finished after you dry your hands. So you're still in the middle of the mitzvah. Therefore, you're allowed to make the bracha of netilah. So too here, you want to make asher yatzar after going to the restroom? First dry your hands, and then you make asher yatzar. ובפרט, במי שיודע שיכוון יותר מברך אחר הניגוב, שיש לו להמתין מברך עד שאחר. And especially because you're not going to have that much kavanah when you're drying your hands. Which one are you doing? You're drying your hands or you're making asher yatzar? Right? So it's best to do it. But, so it says, ויש מי שאומר, והניגוב שייך לברכת אשר יצר, אין קפידה לנגב באמצע הברכה. ומכל מקום, המקילים לנגב הידיים באמצע הברכה, יש להם למשל. So he says, listen, however, there is what to rely on. If you want to dry your hands while you're making asher yatzar, it's not the worst. You have what to rely on. You have those that say it's okay also. But I feel, I don't think we should be doing anything while we're saying asher yatzar. Dry your hands, take that moment. How long does it take to make asher yatzar? 20 seconds? It's 20 seconds. 30 seconds max. You make asher yatzar with kavanah. Someone that needed to go to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom and he used the bathroom. Right? And he made asher yatzar. And afterwards, his friend also needs to go and use the restroom. You can't go ahead and make asher yatzar for somebody else. Because in this case, because it's a bracha of hoda'ah, it's a thanksgiving bracha. And we have a rule that blessings that we make for Thanksgiving, you can't make somebody else yotzeh. You can't have somebody else in mind. Right? Because you're thanking Hashem for being able to use your body. You understand? It's your personal thing with you and Hashem. So I can't thank Hashem for you. You need to thank Him for yourself. That's why we would say like, Brikata Gomel. People go on a trip or there is a reason they need to make Gomel. They come to Shul, sometimes ask somebody else, for the Chazan, to make Gomel for them. But you went on the trip.
If someone else is...
It's like saying, hey, thank God for me. It's like... So, the best is, this is because we don't know. It's just because we don't know. It's a wonderful thing, but we just don't know it. Some people actually think he is obligated to make the bracha, but that's a different situation, right? But husbands come after Baruch Hashem, the Simanat Hava, their wives give birth. They come to shul and they go, I have to make gomel. Why? My wife just had a baby. So now, sometimes I understand he might actually need to make gomel because sometimes he could have gotten killed in the hospital. Right? But yeah, we always say, like, that's fine, but your wife has to make gomel. And it's fine. You know, women make gomel also. It's their personal bracha. It's a personal thanksgiving. So we can't be yot to somebody else for a bracha that is a hoda'ah, a thanksgiving. Right, a thanksgiving personal bracha. Somebody that forgot to make asher yatzar before tefillah. So let's say you went to the bathroom in the morning, then you went and did shaharit. And then after shaharit, you realized, I forgot to make asher yatzar. What do I do? So there are those that say, you no longer can make asher yatzar. Why? Shikvar yatzar yedechovat habracha bebrikat refa'enu. Because though they hold, once you say refa'enu in the Amidah, what do we say in the Amidah? Refa'enu Hashem Elokeinu, right? We're asking Hashem for refu'ah, for healing, right? We're asking Hashem to heal us, our entire body. So those Chachamim hold that, listen, he already made a bracha on healing and thanking Hashem for healing Rofeh Chole Amo Yisrael. Right? So maybe Asher Yatzar that ends with Rofeh Chol Basar Mafli La'asor, maybe he can't make that because he was Yotza already during his Amidat Tefillah. Right? However, we don't hold that way. The Ikar Din is that we still make Asher Yatzar. One does not take the place of the other. Hakam Baboker Margish Shetzarich Me'od Nekav. Okay, we said this before. We said that halakha before. Okay. We said that before also. Okay, now. כל היום כשעושה צרכיו בין קטנים בין גדולים מברך אשר יצר אבל לא מברך על נטילת ידיים. The entire day. Some people ask, like, how many times can you make asher yatzar in one day? Entire day. As many times as a person goes to the restroom, those many times you make asher yatzar. Believe me, we need those brachot because we need to make our 100 brachot a day. Right? So, as many times as we go to the restroom, we make asher yatzar. That's why it's very important that once we go to the restroom, we make asher yatzar quickly so that if within half an hour or an hour we need to go again, we don't lose one bracha because now we have to go to the second time and we have to combine those two with one bracha. So now someone asked this. Ein shi'ur le'atalat mamad. There is no shi'ur, there is no measurement. Someone would say, okay, they went and used the restroom, right? But not that much was released. Right? So maybe someone was how much do you have to do in the bathroom for you to be chayav, obligated to make the bracha of Asher Yatzar? Right? The answer is tipa, even a drop. Even a drop. You enter the bathroom, you use the bathroom, even a drop, you make Asher Yatzar. And he says, because you have to think, even for that drop, if those pipes would have been closed, even that drop would have been painful. Doesn't matter how much. Even that drop would have been very painful. So even that drop that comes out, we have to say thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay. Somebody that, let's say, is going for testing for his kidneys. Right? And doctors give these different medications that the person has to take that require a person to go to the bathroom a lot. Right? They keep using the restroom. Now for those, because we might think like, it's unnatural. He's not naturally going, it's the medication that makes the person going. Do we make a bracha of Asher Yatzar after every single time? Yes, we do. Because that's the body doing its thing. And if it can't, it would be detrimental to the entire body. Therefore, we make Asher Yatzar after every single Time. 1 second. אולם, however, חולה שסתם שם משלשת ויש לו so now there is also a person that needs, let's say, needed to take some kind of medication that it is literally making him or her go constantly, right? They come out of the bathroom, they need to go again. They still have that urge, they have the feeling that they need to go again. Then they don't make Asher Yatzar until that urge completely goes away, until they know and they're sure that their bladder is empty, right? So unless it's empty, you don't make Asher Yatzar when you're until you're actually fully relieved. You have a question?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's say you go for like a urine test. You don't have no urge, but you have to take the urine test.
You make Asher Yatzar.
You do.
Yes. Yes, you do. Because even that, you have to think. You didn't have an urge to go, but you still went.
It's working anyway.
Exactly. It's the pipelines are doing their job. They're working.
So
Yes.
I had a question, but I don't think it makes sense.
Okay. Okay, so we hold it here. Let me go to Mussar. Yeah?
Asher Yatzar solely for the restroom, right?
Yes. Yes, yes. Solely for the restroom. Actually, that's going to come up later also. Nothing else.
I was going to ask, like, let's say you go for a blood test. Some people have trouble giving blood.
That's actually coming next to.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't make Asher Yatzar for blood. Or giving blood.
Giving blood, yeah.
Right, no.
Want to check up?
Okay. we covered a lot of halachot for you tonight.
Thank you.
Good?
Yeah.
Mussar.
Satisfied.
All right, good. Good. The greatest feeling in the world is being satisfied from Torah learning. I really believe that. I really
Can
do.
I answer the question?
I think the happiest feeling in the world, other than like you have kids and like, you know what I mean, but it's different. Being satisfied from Torah learning, it's like you go to sleep like, you know, I got a stark atosis today. You know? Did my Ashkenaz side just come out? All right. The Ramchal says in Netilat Yadayim. Listen, guys, this is so relevant to actually what we're learning in the halachot. The Ramchal said in Netilat Yadayim, שאם האדם היה בא לעולם לשם מטרת תענוגים ותפנוגים, if a person actually was sent to this world, if God put us on this earth for luxuries and enjoyment of life, and taking pleasure in different, luxuries of life, and eat food and all these sorts of different things, לא היה נותן בו השם יתברך נשמה. Hashem would not have given us a neshama. We would all be horses.
A horse is no soul.
A horse enjoys life.
Yes.
A cow enjoys life. In a pasture, they find their grass. They don't have a neshama. They have a nefesh bahamit. They have an animalistic soul. What is the animalistic soul? We also have that particle in us. But we have one above it, a neshama. A neshama is the only thing that a human being has. A Jew has a neshama. A neshama is something that the animals don't have. The animals enjoy eating, sleeping, marital relations. That's all they do. They don't have a purpose. There's no other purpose. You're not going to require your dog to become a better person. You know? Dogs get training. Cats get training. Does that make them a better dog intrinsically? No. They were just trained to sit and roll because they offered them cookies every time they did. Human beings are not like that. We can change from inside. That's our neshama. We can grow from inside. That's our neshama. So the Netilat Yadayim beautifully says, so condensed, if Hashem had put us on this earth for pleasures and luxuries, He wouldn't have given us a neshama. There's no need for a neshama. That's why there's so much, in today's world, there's so much suicide, there's so much sadness. Because, why? Because a human being requires more than just fun. More than pleasure. We require it. You have the richest people in the world, sad, on pills. Why? Because you're constantly looking for what is it? What else? What else is there? What am I supposed to be doing? These are the questions that everybody has. Why am I still not happy? I don't understand. I thought when I get here I'll be happy, but I'm not. Maybe it's the next step, it's the next step, it's the next step. But they realize very, very, very quickly that it's actually not it. Go ask Bill Gates. How much of his money goes to charity? Do you guys know how much of his money goes to charity?
100%.
After he dies?
No, now.
100%.
After he dies,
He gives a very high percentage to charity. Why? Why?
It makes him happy.
He's a giver, yes, but believe me, it makes him so happy. You think it's easy for a person that has a lot of money to give a lot of money? Not at all. The more you have, the more you want. We talked about this. It's a hunger that just keeps on becoming more and more severe. Right? But he's realized the secret. I've asked this from people that are wealthy. Personally, I've asked them. And one person actually told me, so you understand, I found the secret to happiness. People think I'm doing them a favor. If only they knew how happy it makes me. I almost feel selfish. That's what he told me. He said, I almost feel selfish. Because I really feel like I'm doing this for me. That's the beauty of it. So he says, the neshama is a part of Hashem. And it does not take pleasure in anything of this world. Nothing in this world gives the neshama pleasure. Nothing. Not food, not exercise, not candy, not alcohol, not relations. Nothing gives the neshama pleasure. Nothing. It only needs those, as we said in the Halachot. It only needs that, not for itself. The suit needs repair. The body needs those in order for the neshama to stay within. Therefore, we have to eat. We need to do these things in order to maintain the body fully, in order for the neshama to keep going. But does the neshama need these things? Not at all.
Do non-Jews have neshamas?
Well, later. Ask later, please. Okay, listen. So he says, he brings a mashal. He brings a mashal and he says it's comparable to a daughter of a king that got married to a regular villager. Right? In the home of the villager, what can this villager give the daughter of the king to make her happy? What can he offer her that she has not had in her life? Nothing. Nothing that this villager can offer the princess could make her happy. Because whatever he can offer, she's had 100 times better in the palace. Our neshama is that princess. It's that prince. Nothing we can offer the neshama from this world makes the neshama happy. Except ruchniut, spirituality. That's what makes our neshama happy. That's why we said right now, nothing brings happiness more than really from within. Understanding a Gemara that was difficult and you break your head over it. Really understanding a novel idea in the Torah. Why does it make us so giggly inside? You know what that is? That's the neshama. That's the feeling of, I feel fulfilled. I feel like I just did something. That's what the neshama needs. That's its food. So he brings a story from the Chavetz Chaim that there were two friends and they grew up together. From a young age, these two friends grew up together. But they chose two different paths. One of the friends became, in the way of Torah and mitzvot and taking charge of his spiritual life, becoming Talmid Chacham, but living a very, regular life, mediocre life. The other one took a life of, business and entrepreneurship and like making it out in the world. And therefore, because of that, he decided that, in order to make it big, you got to break some legs, you got to break some hands. So he left this part of Torah, he left that part of his religion, and little by little, he just had nothing to do with religion anymore. So it just so happened that the Talmid Chacham felt bad for his friend, the wealthy friend. Like, misken. He's such a good guy, but he's losing out on life. Right? It's just money, money, money. And then his rich friend felt bad for him. Like, it's like, I don't believe it. Like, he's such a smart guy. Look at the way he lives. He just chose living a life of, poverty because he wants to be religious and he wants to keep Shabbat and Ma'adim. So the rich guy comes to the Chafetz Chaim. And he asks the Chafetz Chaim, he tells the Chafetz Chaim about his problem. He says, listen, I really feel bad for my friend. This is the way it's supposed to be in life? Like, I feel bad, I feel like this guy has it bad because he chose Torah. No? So the Chafetz Chaim says to him, I want to give you an example. You tell me, I'll give you a scenario, you tell me what you think. Okay? He says, you want to go somewhere. And there's a chariot that's going that way, a cabbie, right? And this cabbie, it's an old cabbie, old chariot. The wheels are rusted. They make a lot of noise. They haven't been oiled for a while. And it costs $50 to go to the destination. He says, okay. He says, then you have another cabbie. Now this one's a Cadillac. All like souped up. Inside, you got free Wi-Fi. You got everything you need. You got free Wi-Fi in the car. You got what else? The spinning hubcaps. Spinners. You remember that? I remember. Spinners. What else? You got TVs behind every seat. It's like a lounge back there. Leg room. And it only costs what? $15. And it's not even Uber Pool. It's regular. Right? It costs $15. So you got $50 with a chariot, not even oiled. Now you got a caddy costing you $15. However, it's not going your destination. It's going the opposite way. Which one would you take? He says, of course, I would pay the $50. If I'm going that direction, that's my destination, I'll pay the extra money to go to my destination. Even if it makes noise and it's bumpy, but that's where I'm going. Says Chafetz Chaim says exactly. Just because you have luxury does not mean you're on the right route and going towards your destination. You might be going backwards, but you're going there comfortably. So comfortable, you don't even know you're going the wrong way. But after 120 years, your buddy over there, he's going to reach his destination. Where are you going? Where are you headed? Where's all the luxury taking you? It's unbelievable. Like, we don't realize. We don't realize so many times in our lives when we want so many things in our lives, we don't take a moment and think, let me think for a second. Is this thing that I want, is it parallel to the purpose of my life? Is it directed towards my goals? Or is it going the other way? That's what we have to think. Which ride are we going to take in life? Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.